Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Nobody Asked My Opinion podcast. I'm your host, Siobhan, where as usual, nobody asked my opinion, but I damn sure I'm going to give it anyway. Before I get started, guys, don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate you and you do. All right, guys, what am I talking about today? I'm talking about dress codes. Irony is I'm in a t-shirt, but whatever. I'm in my car, so it's okay. It's been in the news a lot lately. Like, people have been getting kicked off of planes for not being dressed appropriately, particularly the low budget airlines, the Spirit and the Frontier. There was just one. I'm gonna pin the article to this video. And the woman who was kicked off this plane, or I shouldn't say kicked off, she wasn't allowed to board. Went online and outraged and said, "Why was I kicked off the plane?" and XYZ. Girl, look in the mirror. Look in the mirror. My 2 cents on this is I think we're seeing this more and more with particularly the low budget airlines. And I think it's because they put such a low value on their ticket. People didn't value how they presented themselves to get on the plane. What do I mean by that? You're not going to dress up to go to McDonald's, right? But if you're going to Capital Grille, you're going to dress up. What is the pricing difference? Although this story may not work as well with this economy, because damn if McDonald's ain't charging some of the Capital Grille prices. But no. So what do I mean by that? Okay, so if you're going to get like a Happy Meal and some fries, right? You can roll out of the house looking however. McDonald's is not going to care. You're still going to get your Happy Meal and fries. And it's because you're getting a fast food type of environment, right? So why would you dress to the nines to go to what's more than likely not a sit down restaurant, a drive-through or whatever, or go to eat in your car? If you're going to Capital Grille or any high-end steakhouse, right, you're going to go dressed appropriately. And so if you look at the ticket prices, and let's say Delta is Capital Grille and Spirit is McDonald's, right? So they put such a lower value on their tickets that people just stop valuing what it meant to go, right? You're not gonna be allowed in a higher end steakhouse if you're dressed in the wrong type of attire. So my question to you guys at home is, do you think that these airlines should adopt a stricter dress policy? I do, absolutely. I don't know if you guys, when's the last time any of you flown, but seeing how some people roll up into the airport is just downright disrespectful. Like, my first question is, why are you even getting on a plane like that? Have you not read any of the stats about how dirty the plane is? How a lot of times that they're not cleaning correctly from the last passengers that were on the plane? Why would you want to sit any of your bare parts on that seat? You know, they do all those, they do the tests and everything to show the bacteria that's on the seat or on the window. And then you see that and I'm like, ugh, why would you want to sit there half naked? Like, ugh. When I fly, I'm in athleisure wear. Athleisure wear. It's one of those words it rolls off the tongue. But I'll be in like joggers and sneakers. I rarely wear open-toed shoes because, again, the goo on the plane. I don't know whose feet were there last time before I sat down. And I'll have like a comfortable, like a cooling, like either hoodie on or whatever. So I'm like sportsy casual, but I'll also do like business casual as well. Now, this is not to shame anybody. If you choose to show up to the airport looking some type of way, I understand it. But I also put the onus onto the airlines. Because, again, if you're charging me $24 to fly, to fly home, I don't know if I'm going to sit there and dress to the nines to get up on your airline. I just don't know if I'm going to want to look my best to get on the plane. Maybe, maybe not. I know I have a certain dress standard for myself. But particularly, because you don't know who you're going to run into, an airline. Yeah, guys, because, being in an airport, you just never know who you're going to meet. This is like, you could be dropping the bag on a job opportunity, on a love opportunity. Hell, you don't know. So don't you think you should be dressed appropriately? That being said, what is deemed appropriate? And I don't know if I'm comfortable with the airline deciding on what would be considered appropriate. I do think we know as we leave the house, if we had a mama, how we're supposed to actually leave the house correctly, And I don't know if they're going to bring back or try to bring back, trying to bring my AC down. I'm having my Beyonce hair movement moment. Sorry about that. But I don't know if we should bring back like a stricter dress code, and would it be a uniform one across the board for all airlines, or would they each have their own individual type of dress code? But do you guys agree or not? Do you want to see people dressed, I don't know, more covered or more just appropriate to the situation? You know, you're not at the beach yet. If you're going on a beach vacation, good for you, take me with you, but you should not be strolling out like, you know, in swim trunks, right? But I love the idea of a dress code. I love the idea of rules and how people should present themselves, just because I feel like sometimes people just push the envelope and then they just look, you know, a mess. But again, I don't love the idea of the airport deciding what is appropriate for me to wear. I think some guidelines would be nice, or if you put like, you know, but I will say this. I do feel like a lot of these cases, the majority are women, that it feels like, you know, they don't want to see a scantily clad woman. They don't want to see any part of your top, any part of your bottom, because we're not seeing this happen to men, right? And I think we can all agree, again, if you've flown recently or ever, men don't dress, they're not going to dress scandalous, but they some of the guys I've seen flying are not dressed appropriately for airport travel either, but I don't see them being asked to get off the plane or not even being allowed to board the plane. So there does feel like there is that, like, that weird, you know, sexist discrepancy. Maybe I'm wrong, but what do you guys think? What do you think should be the appropriate attire, or do you think there should be a dress code at all? Or if, you know, do you agree with me on the whole on the purchase price of the ticket? You know, I'll lay in the fact, I think if you choose to purchase a first class ticket, I think you're going to dress according to the some of it. I think you're going to dress according to the price of the ticket. Now, that's not always true either, because you have a lot of celebs who roll up on a plane and looking at a hot mess as well. But I think if you want to dress the way you want to dress, then maybe fly, you know, get yourself a personal plane if you can afford it. Hey, like, you know, fly privately. You know, you see these celebs rolling out holding a teddy bear and slippers and flip-flops. They can do that. They're on a private flight. But we as Johnny Q public, we are not as lucky. So maybe I don't know. I want to know what you guys think at home. Maybe there should be a dress code, but who is deciding it, and what do you think is appropriate? What do you think an appropriate outfit is, male or female, to go to the airport in and to take a flight in? Like, do you see this getting better or worse? Like, it's so silly, right? But it's obviously, you know, you don't want to be the person that misses their plane. So maybe people do need guidelines and rules again. I don't know. But let me know what you guys think at home. Get down in the comments. As usual, nobody asked me my opinion, but I damn sure I'm going to give it anyway. I appreciate you guys. Have a good one. Bye-bye.